Two Aries in a relationship is one of the most intense configurations in the entire zodiac. Not because it is doomed, but because it is doubled. Double Mars. Double speed. Double honesty. Double ego. When two rams find each other, the attraction is often instant and unmistakable, two people who finally feel met at their own frequency. But frequency and harmony are not the same thing. This is the deep dive into Aries and Aries compatibility, the strengths that make this pairing electric, the weaknesses that can burn the house down, and what it actually takes for two warriors to build something that lasts. The first thing two Aries people often report is recognition. Not just attraction, recognition. Someone who texts back immediately. Someone who says yes to the plan without 3 days of deliberation. Someone who matches their energy without needing it explained. For Aries, who often feel like they are moving at a different speed than the rest of the world, meeting another Aries can feel like finally finding someone who speaks their native language. The courtship phase is rarely slow. It is bold, direct, and often publicly obvious. Astrologically, this pairing is cardinal fire meeting cardinal fire. Both signs initiate. Both lead. Both start things. In a relationship, that means neither person is naturally inclined to follow, which creates immediate chemistry and immediate friction. Two people who always want to choose the restaurant, pick the destination, set the pace, and win the argument. The energy between them is never dull. But someone eventually has to decide whether they are partners or competitors wearing the same jersey. Mars rules Aries, drive, desire, aggression, action. When two Mars-ruled people come together, the relationship runs hot by default. Passion is never the problem. Rest is. Two Aries together often experience love as a series of high-intensity peaks, explosive chemistry, fierce loyalty, dramatic reconciliations, and rapid forgiveness. The relationship can feel like a permanent state of aliveness. It can also feel like living inside a thunderstorm if neither person learns to regulate the voltage. Neither Aries waits. When two Aries fall for each other, the timeline compresses. They might define the relationship before others have finished the second date. They exchange I love yous with the same directness they use for everything else. Friends watch and wonder if it is too fast. The two Aries people rarely wonder at all. For them, speed is sincerity. Hesitation would feel like playing games, and both hate games. The risk is that intensity substitutes for depth before depth has had time to form. The greatest strength of Aries and Aries together is shared appetite for life. These two do not need to convince each other to try something new. They are the couple that books the trip on Tuesday and leaves on Friday. They turn ordinary weekends into stories. Boredom, the silent killer of so many relationships, rarely gets a foothold here because both partners need motion, challenge, and forward momentum to feel alive. As adventure partners, two Aries are nearly unmatched in the zodiac. Two Aries together means no guessing games. Both say what they mean. Both prefer direct conflict to passive silence. Both would rather have an honest fight than a dishonest peace. For partners exhausted by mixed signals and emotional chess, this is liberating. You always know where you stand, even when where you stand is in the middle of an argument. The transparency creates trust of a particular kind, not soft, not subtle, but real. When two Aries commit to each other, loyalty becomes a shared code. Both understand what it means to defend the person you love. Both will confront external threats to the relationship without hesitation. An outsider who disrespects one Aries will face two. This pairing can feel like having a permanent ally, someone who gets it, who does not need the situation explained, who moves toward the problem rather than away from it. That mutual protectiveness is one of the pairing's most underrated gifts. Two sharp minds that enjoy sparring can keep each other awake for decades. Aries and Aries often debate, challenge, and push each other's thinking, not to dominate, but because the friction itself is stimulating. They respect strength in the other. They are rarely intimidated by a partner who pushes back. In its healthiest form, this is two equals sharpening each other. In its shadow form, every conversation becomes a contest with a winner and a loser. Physical connection between two Aries is typically immediate and sustained. Mars energy does not fade quietly. Both partners tend to express desire openly, pursue intimacy directly, and treat physical connection as essential rather than optional. The chemistry that brought them together often remains one of the strongest threads holding them together through difficult seasons. When emotional communication falters, the physical language between two Aries still speaks clearly. The central weakness of Aries and Aries is leadership collision. Both are natural leaders. Both want the final say. Both feel entitled to their perspective because both are accustomed to being the most decisive person in the room, until they meet each other. Decisions that should take 5 minutes can become battles of will. Neither wants to defer. Neither enjoys being overridden. The relationship needs an unspoken agreement about when to lead and when to follow, or it becomes a permanent power struggle disguised as passion. Two Aries can turn love into sport without meaning to. Who got the bigger promotion? Who planned the better date? Who was right about the argument last week? Who loves harder? Competition is in the Aries DNA, and when both partners carry it, even affection becomes a scoreboard. The healthiest Aries-Aries couples learn to compete together against external challenges rather than against each other. The unhealthiest ones keep internal score indefinitely. Double impulsivity is a real risk. Two Aries together can escalate faster than any other pairing, a small disagreement becoming a full confrontation within minutes because neither applies the brake. Both speak first and think second. Both react from passion before processing from wisdom. The recovery is often fast. Aries does not hold grudges the way Scorpio or Cancer might, but the cumulative damage of repeated explosions can erode trust even when forgiveness comes quickly. Confidence is attractive. Two confident people together can be magnetic or combustible. When both Aries feel simultaneously wronged, neither backs down easily. Apologies can become negotiations rather than offerings. Pride on both sides turns repair into a standoff. The lesson for this pairing is that being right and being connected are often opposite destinations. The couple that survives learns to choose connection first, not because someone lost, but because the relationship matters more than the point. Two self-focused people in one relationship can accidentally leave each other starving. Both Aries can become absorbed in their own goals, moods, and timelines, assuming the other is fine because the other also seems self-sufficient. Neither may ask for support because both pride themselves on not needing it. The result is two strong individuals who feel oddly alone inside the partnership. Regular check-ins are not optional for this pairing. They are the infrastructure that keeps two independent fires connected. Arguments between two Aries are loud, fast, and often over before other signs have finished processing the opening sentence. Both bring heat. Both mean what they say in the moment, which is both the problem and the saving grace. Words can be sharper than intended. Volume can substitute for clarity. But when the storm passes, both genuinely want to move forward. The danger is not the fight itself. It is failing to repair what the fight revealed. Speed of forgiveness must be matched by depth of resolution. Patience is not the native language of either partner. Two Aries waiting for the other to change, to apologize first, to slow down, to catch up, that waiting feels like disrespect to both. Impatience with each other's pace, with each other's process, with each other's need for space or closeness at the wrong moment, this is where daily friction lives. The practice this pairing needs most is deliberate slowness, pausing before responding, asking before assuming, and accepting that the other person's timing is not an insult to your own. Two independent people do not automatically know how to be interdependent. Both Aries need freedom, space to pursue their own goals, their own friendships, their own identity outside the relationship. When both take that freedom simultaneously without communicating, the relationship can start to feel like two parallel lives that occasionally intersect. The bridge between the mountain peaks must be built intentionally. Date nights are not cliché for this pairing, they are maintenance. Time together must be chosen, not assumed. Aries and Aries can work beautifully when both accept that compromise is not defeat. Taking turns leading is not weakness. Apologizing first is not losing. Listening without preparing a rebuttal is not surrender. The couples who thrive are the ones who redirect their competitive energy outward, toward shared goals, shared enemies, shared adventures, rather than inward toward each other. Same team. Same fire. Different roles depending on the day. Practical advice for two Aries: establish domains. One leads travel planning this month, the other leads next month. One chooses dinner, the other chooses the movie. Not because you cannot decide together, but because deciding together every time is exhausting for two leaders. Rotate. Explicitly. Without keeping score. And when the big decisions come, the ones that actually matter, sit down as equals and decide that winning the argument matters less than finding the answer together. The deepest growth for Aries and Aries happens when both put the armor down at the same time. Two warriors admitting they are tired, scared, uncertain, or hurt, without fearing that the other will use it against them. This requires trust built slowly, through repeated evidence that vulnerability is safe here. When two Aries reach this level, the relationship stops being a contest and becomes a sanctuary. Same fire. But now it warms instead of only burns. The evolved Aries-Aries relationship is one of the Zodiac's most dynamic partnerships. Still passionate. Still direct. Still adventurous. But now tempered with wisdom, knowing when to charge and when to wait, when to speak and when to listen, when to lead and when to trust the other to lead. Two people who chose each other not because they were the easiest option, but because they were the most alive. And who learned, over time, to aim that aliveness in the same direction. Aries and Aries together is not for everyone. But for the two rams who choose it consciously, who respect the fire in each other, who learn to share the path rather than race for first place, the reward is a love that matches their intensity without asking them to become someone else. If you are in an Aries-Aries relationship, comment below and tell us your story. Subscribe for our full compatibility series, Every Sign Pairing, explored in depth. Two Aries. Same sign. Same fire. The question was never whether the spark would be there. The question is whether both of you will learn to forge something lasting from it. We think you can.